It's weird because it still says it's live, but it's still preparing. Oh, well, that's the way life goes. All right, so my name is Baron, and we're going to be doing a class on steaming vegetables. Now, we had talked about before on how to put together a lunch and everything like that. And one of the things was vegetables. Now, you can have straight regular vegetables or you can have steamed vegetables. I am more of a proponent of steamed vegetables because, strangely enough, I thoroughly believe more people eat steamed vegetables than raw vegetables. Now, a lot of people do eat raw vegetables if they have like a ranched dressing or something that they can dip it in, like hummus, things like that. But if you want more of a realistic, healthier alternative, I go steaming is the best. It keeps more of the nutrients in. It's pretty quick. So one of the things we always want to talk about is, for what I say specifically, needs to be specific steaming times. Pretty much everyone just goes, puts all their stuff together at one time, and they put it in and they steam it, and they're like, oh, the carrots aren't done yet, so they keep on steaming, and all of a sudden, hey, the carrots are good, but the peas are mushy. Okay, really, there's 3 specific times that you need to cook things. One is going to be from a 3 to 7 minute, another one's going to be from an 8 to 12 minute, and the other one's going to be like a 13 to 20 minute. Okay, now I chose these because of 2 aspects. One, there's a wide variety, but if you look at it, you can classify it in 2 aspects. One is going to be like a European feast or lunch, and one is going to be like an Asian. So therefore, you have things like lotus root, water chestnuts, bamboo sprouts or shoots. Those are always a good example of what you can add to increase your theme of your event. Now, as you can see here, water chestnuts, white radish, and bamboo sprouts and everything, or shoots, they're going to be taking up to the longest time, which is like 20 minutes. So I started already with putting in both water chestnuts and bamboo shoots. I'm going to let that go for about 5 minutes. If you do like a 5 minute increment, life is a lot easier. So if you go, hey, I'll put it in at 20, and then at 15, I'll put in the next one, and then at 10, you put in the next one, and you go for 5 minutes, you're pretty much going to hit the major windows. Or you can be much more specific and go 15, 10, 5, and done at 1. Everything is going to be dependent upon 3 major aspects: color, texture, and flavor. Okay? If you want to shorten the time on steaming, what you can do is you can do a quick boil or a blanching of it to start the process and get heat on the inside, or you can take it, put it on a plate, put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute, and that will also start internal cooking and speed up your time on steam. Now, we're going to have 2 different sauces in here, okay? One is going to be just a straight butter and garlic. Now, for butter and garlic, I always go with the ratio of 1 stick of butter to minimum 2 pieces of garlic. Of course, the garlics are going to vary in size. I say the average will be about 1 stick of butter to 4 pieces of garlic. Now, if you love garlic,
yes, you feel it in your heart. Put as much as you want.
And you want to keep the vampires away, and you don't want to kiss anyone that night, you go with 10, 30 bulbs of garlic.
Garlic. Hey, if they're not willing to kiss you with garlic bread, are they worth it?
Well, there you
True.
go. You have 2 people. Oh, it's so much garlic!
There's nothing in the garlic sweat.
That should come much later. But anyway, so as we were saying before, some of the things I put in water chestnuts and bamboo. I did not put in radish. Now, this is a pickled sweet radish that usually is done for sushi and stuff like that, and that's good. But this again usually would be like a white radish. You cut it. Now, you can cut it into nice little slices like this. You can just keep them whole heads. The thinner the slices are, the faster it will steam. Very common sense. Now, another thing you can do is do something like this, which is, all right, this one is lotus root and snow peas. So what you can do is, all right, I'll put the 8 to 12 minute one in here, and I'll put the 3 to 7 minute one in another one. So therefore you can go, all right, here's the time, put it in, and the next one, put it in. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough containers, so I put all of it into one for the Asian one and 2 for the European one. So as we go through, I'm going to go start explaining everything from how to cut it up, how to break it down, everything like that. So first thing we're going to talk about right now is we're going to put in the next lotus root. Now, lotus root comes in like a bulb. Then you cut it. Yes, it very much is like a loop. You go and you take this and you just there we go. From there, you just go and you get nice, perfectly sliced lotus roots. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the lotus roots. We're going to start adding it into here.
Dude, you've got good timing.
Thank you. And now we will add the celery and radish, red radish. Now, I'm going to show you some tricks about celery and radishes. Pretty much with the radish, it's easy. You just cut it into the slice length that you want. Easy enough. Now, for the celery though, what I like to do is I like to do what's known as, I call it deveining. Some people might call it something else. What you do is you take the bottom portion, you break it, and then you start peeling it back. What you're going to do is you're going to start seeing the nice little hairy strings. This is actually pretty thick, but you're going to be able to see all these strings that are going to come off. I am not a big fan of this. I am not a huge fan of celery to begin with, but having this in your teeth, you keep on chewing it, and you're like, oh, I'm done. No, I'm not done. I'm just keep on chewing this because I can't get this thing done. It annoys me.
I dare give you roadblocks to my dinner.
And then from there, you just simply cut it, and you won't have to worry about any of those strings causing problems again. Fibrous. Now, if you also really like the snack of putting cream cheese or peanut butter, this also helps. Maybe your kids will be a little bit more open to it. Now, one of the things you also need to do is always make sure that you don't run out of water while you're steaming. Okay? Now, for corn, you can use these wonderful things, which they're so good. Okay. Everyone gets one, and then the rest goes in the steamer. Okay. Now, when you're cutting up your broccoli and cauliflower, the bigger the heads, the longer it's going to take. So you always want to go and cut them not as small as possible, but as with everything, you look at it and you determine the best size that you like and what works best for you. Same thing with cauliflower. Now, one nice thing about cauliflower is it breaks up even more. So with this one, instead of cutting it all the time, you much simply take this and break it into the amounts that you want. Very easy, very quickly. So you can cut it or you can break it. Depends on what you want to do, because this is what you like and what you want to show everyone. We got about 2 minutes left.
1 minute.
Oh. So what we'll do is, like I said, I put in 3 sticks of butter and I put in between 12 and 15 sections of garlic. So we'll let that wait there for a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the Asian stuff. So what you want to do there, this is a butter compound. You can also use an oil. What we're going to use is we're going to use sesame seed oil. Okay. Now what you can do is in the pan, drizzle enough that you want to coat but not drown your stuff. So a little bit in there like that. How much time? We're good.
Beeps for 5 minutes.
So it just hit.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to put in the last elements, and that is going to be for the Asian one. We're going to put in snow peas, which strangely enough is more Asian than European, but we will also put in a little for this one. And there's going to be, it seems like it's a little, but there's 5 people that are going to be eating this. All right. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to grate in some ginger. Again, you do it to flavor. Nope, but. Make sure I didn't make it ding like crazy.
I think you're-
Yes, I am out of fuel. Thank you very much. The can is right there. Now. I use one of these nice portable Asian stoves. Very easy, very portable, very quick transfer. Kaboom. Add a little bit more sesame seed oil. And now, Elizabeth, you're the only one on. I greatly appreciate it. So you get to choose the next spice that we're going to use for the Asian brown cinnamon. Okay. You have the choice of za'atar. Not sure what that is. Cinnamon, Italian herb. What is
There's
it?
more in here.
Ground mustard, which actually probably wouldn't be too bad. Garlic,
With ginger and sesame oil will be good with.
turmeric, seaweed. I didn't even think of that. That's actually a good antiquary. So you want, what do you want in the sesame oil and ginger?
Probably a little ground mustard.
Brown mustard. There we go.
I'm on the steaming vegetable class, Dad, for SCA. Trying to keep the little girl.
Sure you don't want some?
That's all right, got some ground mustard. Anything else?
I would defer to your sensibilities.
Less is better when you're trying something new. I like that attitude of yours. All right. So we'll let that sit. How much time do we have for everything to be done? Now, here's another important thing. When you get done, take your steamed vegetables, open them up, take the lid off, and let them air out a little bit. Number one, they're going to be too hot to eat anyway. Number two, what you want is you want that water to evaporate, because when you put the oil or the butter on, you definitely want it to stick. And if there's moisture on it, it's not going to be able to adhere the best or have the most flavor you can have. So let it cool off for several minutes. Very important. So what we're going to do is for the butter and garlic, we're going to heat that up, and then we'll toss that in with the other one. And we're just going to use salt and white pepper on that one. Now, if anyone wants to add different things onto the stuff they want, this is always, like I say, a great opportunity to have a drink sample test, an eating sample test, just testing everything to see what different people like for flavors. What is the three? Color, texture, and flavor. So some people will be like, oh man, sesame oil, way too strong. Okay, maybe you want to try something a little bit less. Or what you can do for garlic butter, which I think is a great thing. If you want even more garlic to come out of it, what you do is you make garlic butter and then you let it sit. The longer you let it sit, the more garlic is going to transfuse into the butter. So when you heat it up again, you're going to have more aroma, more flavor, just adds more and more. And yes, one of the next cooking classes we're going to have is we're going to have a cooking class on making different flavored butters. From honey butter to garlic butter to rosemary butter to whatever you want to, that's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, you put butter, sugar, and cinnamon together, freaking golden. And you take that place when you go to an event, especially if you got kids. I know, I saw a kid with you. You go and you get that little thing on there and you're like, nah, and you want some of this, we're like, yeah, and you're like, okay, sit down and take a nap. Freaking awesome. Have 3 kids, got to do it. De-stress you. So, timer's done. So we're going to take this off, and like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to let this steam off. Now, also, the liquid in the bottom is actually very flavorful and everything like that. So it's always nice to put that in a nice little stew. If you want to have a stew for later on in the day and stuff like that, that works out great. And have someone just put this probably in the kitchen on the stove.
Oh, this side's hot. Please take it back. Ow. Come on.
We got plenty of time. Until my arms are shaking. Now, put this back on, please. Heat up the butter. Now, the most important thing is when you heat up butter is always never have it on a high heat, medium high. At the extreme most, medium is best. You don't want to burn it. You don't want to caramelize it. You don't want to do anything. You always want to make sure that you add to it. So from here, once it gets good, we'll add it into this bowl. And then we'll take those, put it in here, that one into there, and do a nice little toss. Now, as with everything, you definitely want to let it sit a little bit, let it absorb more of the flavor, more of the oils, the butters, everything like that. It's going to make it taste so much better. And there's nothing that says you can't put this on and let it soak for an hour or two on low, very low heat to keep the stuff. And even if you can, even better, if you can do it like in a double boiler, that's even better. And one of the spoons. This one. You never have too much spoon. You got a really massive spoon. How are you going to eat off of that thing?
Eventually get 2 mini spoons.
Size of the spoon, not mini spoon. Why are we arguing about spoons and size of the spoon? This is what it's like in North Dakota. Ah, spoons.
I didn't realize you were going to the size. I wish I could look at them.
I think
Do we have the texture of spoon? Is it plastic? Is it wood? Is it metal?
This wooden spatula.
Spatula is different than a spoon.
Yeah, except for there's one right here. I'm gonna get ya.
no, you smack it on those yellow pickle radishes. It'll leave a mark.
Now, where you slap at? Comes a bruising on it.
The flour that makes it yellow on the skin horrendously.
Have you put this one on the stove too, please?
It's not hot. We're good.
And this too?
Oh my god.
Keep that spoon away from me.
The dough spatula.
Good spatula. Spatula's fine. Yes, anyone who wants to can come here and cook with me and have running commentary because that's how we roll.
Yeah, nothing better than it.
All good.
Welcome to North Dakota.
Welcome to North Dakota.
Nothing better than it.
We got a lot.
Yeah.
I'll get you with the rubber spatula.
Thought I did first.
Rubber-
I know where it's at.
Rubber kids always use a rubber.
Do not repeat that. All right, we're gonna let this cool off a little bit more, let the moisture evaporate. Now, like I said, the only thing we're gonna be using is gonna be white pepper and salt for the European vegetables. Now with this one, we have sugar peas, we got corn, we got broccoli, and we got cauliflower. Now, what you can do is you can add carrots to add a redness to it. I'm not a big proponent of having like an entire all green, so we're going to do cauliflower. I mean, we're going to do broccoli. We're going to do green beans. We're going to do green peas, sugar snap peas. It's like all green. It's a little boring. So it's always nice to have different flavors, different textures, everything like that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add the Asian stuff in. I would let this sit a little while longer, but time is not really on our side, and I'm too afraid of what the peanut gallery is going to bring up next.
Did you want a spatula to make it like easier?
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, too bad, because this is mine. You can have it.
There are many spatulas, but this one is mine. Now, of course, what you can do is you can mix it around, toss it around, put a plate on, do a really good mixture, but I am going to ask for some spatulas so I can do a good mixture. Is there one there? Thank you.
Just this one. Oh.
So as with everything, nice going from the center, bring it up. Now, some people will be afraid of putting too much stuff in there. Now, remember, there is going to be stuff on the bottom. So if you want to, you can put another layer of a drainage thing to let it drain out so you're not getting overpowered on it. Or you can just drain it. Also use like paper towels to wipe out some of the excess. It's all about your flavor profile that you like. So we have this one right here. So can you get me some bowls and I'll let you guys try it. Then after that, I want you to see if you want any of these other spices to be added on to it. Get over here. Not that I'm off the screen. I'm like, he doesn't like us. He's not showing.
She'll slap you with both of them.
Now remember, whenever you're making something for a lunch or a feast or whatever, you are the one that's making it. It is your feast. Don't let other people say, well, you really need to, you shut up and let me do the feast and I either succeed or fail, but I will not get 1,000 people telling me what I should be doing. If they're that important on it, then they need to do the feasting stuff. Okay, first, let's go with, unfortunately, color. This one's very white because there's a lot of white stuff. The bamboo shoots or sprouts were actually yellow, but they became white upon steaming. How's the texture? Is it
The
still,
lotus root is still a little crunch.
what is?
The lotus root.
Okay, the lotus root tip, so we need to put it in longer, so probably 20, maybe even going past 20,
And
25 minutes.
seeds are good. Water chestnut still has the appropriate amount of crunch. These are a little under, but they're delicious, so.
I think it needs more spice. What
I
type?
could definitely use some salt.
And you always add one spice at a time. Oh my God. And yes, the most important one is usually going to be salt. So add that one first and then see what needs to be added next. Salt really adds it. Snow, or the peas, the snow peas, sugar snap peas. I love sugar snap peas. I think they always add something. Unfortunately, these bamboo sprouts or shoots came from a can. Not a big fan of it. Usually they have a lot more flavor, but the canned ones are usually kind of blah. Yeah, they very much are. So whenever you can get fresh ingredients, always the better. I think.
That nori head.
You got cumin. You want to see? I'm gonna try turmeric. Try and give it a little bit of a heat. Don't think I'm a fan with the turmeric. It adds something, but not a great aftertaste.
The nori was a good ad.
Less.
Yes.
All right, while we're doing that one, I'll start with the other ones.
So excited for that one. I love garlic.
And remember, if you put garlic in and people are like still not garlicky enough, just have garlic salt handy available. And then people will be able to pretty much do with it whatever they want to at that level. You think the sesame oil was the right choice for it?
Yeah. Yeah. Sesame oil, so it's
Puts it 1 foot in the door of Asia, so.
Big fan of this lotus bread.
What's that?
So I'm a big fan of this lotus bread.
But it's kind of raw. It's not the biggest fan, but
Sounds
But
like
it's-
yummy.
it definitely, to me, like I said, adds a potatoey aspect that kind of makes it hearty. Oh yeah, I'm just smelling this and I'm just loving it. Butter and garlic. Oh, so good. Oh. I know everyone wants this, so give me your guys' bowl. Remember, like I said, with a lot of this, if you want to keep it warm, very low heat, preferably if you can, double boiler, and this will still stay warm, flavorful, very, and it will keep for hours. Now, I'll go through this again, recap some of the stuff real quick, and then we'll talk about this and what we need to add to it. Really, you need to concentrate on 3 different levels of times for steaming stuff. And the best thing to do is prep it by putting it into different bowls. So you got the first one going for 20 minutes, next one going for like 10 minutes, and the next one going for about 6 minutes. Things like that, whatever time period time length works out best for you. You always want to try and have a good color combination. So a lot of stuff when it steams or boils will change color or become less prominent. So like yellows will go away, some reds, like the red in this radish is going away. It's very light purple, almost slight pink. But green, strangely enough, green will always stay green. So plan with that. And for me, I am always a big proponent on having enough sauce. Some people be like, oh, you put too much sauce on it. It's just way too overpowering. Yeah. Then you just let it drain out a little bit, or you take a batch that is essentially steamed but not coated, and then they can add the amount that they want to on it. Because you're going to get those types of people too, where they want to have something, but they really want it done their way. Then you go and take a portion of it, you set it to the side with no sauce, and you let them put on just like a salt or whatever flavors that they want, whether it's going to be seasoning or a butter sauce or an oil-based sauce.
I'll judge you later for that.
I'm so American. Butter and garlic, just so good on everything.
Mhm.
Spice it up with a little bit of white pepper. Broccoli, I think, could have been cooked for about another 2 or 3 more minutes.
Oh, gosh,
Mhm.
Totally agree.
Radishes are good too. So we have radish.
Never had it, really?
No.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we're gonna end on this. Hope some of this is interesting, or if none of this was interesting, hopefully the peanut gallery was at least interesting.
We tried. Entertainment for hours.
There's no try, only do.
There you go. And with everything, I'm a big proponent on when steamed vegetables should never be mushy. They should always have some type of texture, some type of crunch, firmness, whatever you want to describe it as.
We called it mouthfeel, dude.
Mouthfeel.
Al dente.
To me, that shows that it's a lot fresher. It's a lot, to me, healthier. Oh, I feel this is as firm. I believe that this is better than kind of crappy vegetables. So, do you have any questions before we get done?
No basic questions.
Okay, real quick question for you. What is your favorite steamed vegetables that you like to have in combination?
I normally love, when I was in grad school, dumping broccoli and cauliflower into dishes.
I'm a big cauliflower fan. I used to just take a big head, just put it in a bowl,
Steam the
cover it with water,
whole thing, put some butter and salt.
put it in the
Good to
microwave. Yeah, put it in the microwave for 10 minutes.
Meal.
And yeah, it was a meal into itself, and a nice little powdered coating of like Frank's buffalo wing sauce or something like that. It's really good, and a lot of places use it as a substitute for chicken wings or vegan dishes and stuff. So it works quite well. All right, well, thank you very much for showing up. Hope you had a good time.
I did.
And soon. Look at that. He's like, I want some corn. I want corn.
Melanie.
Baby corn.
No, she's just started solids.
Baby corn is great. Really hard buns and little baby corn. Go to town on it. That's what you want. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I think the Asian